G'day guys, welcome to 10 Minute Fitness. I'm Darcy and I'm here with Lang today.
Yep.
And today we're going to talk a bit about what we've been up to, really managing workload, and also some kettlebell training. So a few other alternatives you can be doing from home.
Exactly. So kettlebell training, you really only need one kettlebell, but we'll dive into that a bit later. But what have you been up to, Darcy? Tell us about your training
I've
thus
been
far.
training a fair bit lately, if not the same as normal, more than usual. So I've added in some extra upper body day training sessions, as well as been doing some work on my vertical jump, and a few lower body day training sessions as well. So it's been probably about 15 to 20% up on normal, and I can actually feel my elbows starting to get a bit sore as well. So I'm pushing it on the edge a little bit at the minute. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the main thing with me. How are you going with your training?
Yeah, pretty good. So I've been sprinting about 4 times a week, mostly like longer distances now, and a couple of times with shorter takeoffs, fast, and just short, fast sessions. So 50 meters, 25 meters, and I've dived into some kettlebell training.
How's that going?
So yeah, well, I had my first session just a few hours ago. Went pretty well, but we can talk about that a little bit later. What I want to know is what's on your elbow and how are you sort of managing that?
At the minute, I've just been training a bit extra, so I'm getting a little bit. My joints just feel really stiff, and a lot of the time, that comes from the tendon not being used to the load in that as well. So, what's really important with that kind of stuff is that I'm still doing something, but I'm also listening to my body when I'm training as well. So, it's a bit of a fine line at the minute. If I'm doing too much, I can get sore elbows, and it can really interrupt my training. But if I play it carefully, it's one of those things that I can get rid of the pain by still doing a little bit. So it's really important at the minute that I'm listening to my body, and it's probably, it is really important for everyone else at the minute too, is that now that you do have a lot of extra time, or you may have a lot more time than usual, it's a good opportunity to train more, but you just need to just consider how you're feeling on the day. And some days you might feel up to doing a bit more, and that's okay. But some days you might wake up feeling really stiff, and that's when you need to listen to your body, see how you're feeling. Otherwise, you're going to get injured, you're going to get sore, and you're going to really struggle to keep up what you're doing. How are your joints feeling?
Yeah, I've increased my training load for quite a long time now, 3 weeks. But yeah, as the same, I'm feeling my joints a bit tender with extra sprinting and just training every day. So I would say I've increased my training load probably more than 15-20%. So this is a really important topic, just in case all you guys out there are training a bit more frequently and wondering how to regulate it. So auto regulation is what we call it. So as you said, just listening to your body and seeing how you feel that day. What I like to do is I make sure I have a minimum amount of reps or weight that I hit in every session. So for example, just say I can do 10 push-ups. I know I can do 10 push-ups on a bad day. Even if I'm not feeling great that day, I'll train, but I'll make sure I hit my minimums.
Yeah, so you're really listening to how you feel, and that's really important with that as well. How was your kettlebell session today?
Yeah, so finally I can talk about my kettlebell session. It was actually really hard. I've got one 24 kilo kettlebell, and during these times it's very efficient. You just need one item. So I've got 24 kilo one, and I did every minute on the minute for 10 minutes, and I did 3 rounds, so 30 minutes. And let me just tell you, you tick off the boxes for cardio, some strength endurance, and you feel great afterwards. It's efficient. So what I did was 20 swings every minute on the minute for 10 minutes. So that's 200 swings, 10 squats every minute on the minute, and that's 100 squats, and then 5 presses and 5 rows every minute on minute each side. So that is 50 of rows and presses. all in 30 minutes. So you can imagine your heart rate goes up, you're working on your strength endurance, which normally I lift heavy weights, so you don't really do as many repetitions. But I can see the effectiveness of a kettlebell, because when you're working with one, you're usually off balance, and that allows your body to really work harder on one side. But you got to balance it out, because you're going to switch side to your kettlebell. But highly recommended. I recommend starting off light. So recommendations for men: 16, 20, or 24 kilos. I started with the 24 kilos, but start 16 if you are a beginner.
So
What are your
if you're not a big boy, start at 16.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm big, but I'll say I have a big ego. Have you had much experience with kettlebells?
I have one kettlebell in my home gym, and it's a 20-kilo kettlebell, and swings are great. That's probably the main thing I'd use the kettlebell for. I haven't done too many squats or anything else, but mainly some swings. That would be what I would use them for. So very versatile piece of equipment too.
Yes, very versatile. And the swing is a great exercise because just about anybody can do it. It requires minimum mobility, gets your heart rate up, and you're working the main muscles of your hips, your glutes, your hammies, all that good stuff.
Yeah. And it's really important. So really good way to look after your physical health with minimal equipment, which is great. And the other thing we'll probably look at, have you been supplementing with anything as well to go with your training along the way?
Yes, I've been supplementing some cod liver oil. Cod liver oil has great source of vitamin D and vitamin A. And if we read a bit of the literature, at the moment, you can see we're in this worldwide predicament. So it's probably best to look after your health, and vitamin A and vitamin D are known for increasing your immune system strength.
Yeah, and vitamin D is also pretty good for mental health too. That's probably another thing as well. So good sources of vitamin D. I know sunlight is one, well, cod liver oil. What other sources of vitamin D would you suggest?
Eggs, definitely eggs.
There we go.
Some free-range eggs.
Free-range eggs, if you can find them at the supermarket. Sunlight and cod liver oil. I actually probably think that cod liver oil might be easier to get than eggs at the minute.
Yeah, but what do you like tasting, cod liver or eggs?
Probably eggs, I'd assume. How does a cod liver taste?
So it depends what you can stomach, but if you can find eggs, definitely recommend upping your egg intake.
Oh, it's all right. That sounds good. And in terms of sunlight, I think, correct me if you've got a different idea to this, but minimum 15 minutes of sunlight per day. So if you aim for that.
You want to definitely expose your legs and your arms at least. But if you want, you can take your gear off and you get the full exposure. Not saying go nudist, but at least have your torso exposed.
Oh, so that's what you've been doing on your Instagram videos at the park, just
Hey, that's only fans account, all right?
Only fans, how much?
For a budget price of $4.99.
It's pretty affordable. We better get to our listeners' question now. And we've had a lot of people write into us during the week, and we've actually picked out 2 listeners' questions from today. One's really relevant I've got one from James from Noble Park here, and it's really relevant to the vitamin D we've been talking about. He wanted to know if KFC original recipe was a good source of vitamin D.
Vitamin D in KFC. Well, there's KFC in chicken, vitamin KFC, right?
I don't know how good of if you eat in the sun, it's probably good for vitamin D. But apart from that, I'm not sure how effective it would be. And
James, I think if you eat KFC out in the sun, I'm sure you can get some vitamin D out of your KFC.
And do we have another listener's question?
Yeah, so I've got one here from John from South Yarra. He's wrote in, this is a legit question. What are the things we can do to boost our immune system? Oh, great question, John. Things to boost your immune system: looking after your diet, supplementing where areas that you're lacking. So as we said, if you're lacking in vitamin D, you can just get some supplements that can usually fill in the gap. Exercising regularly, and making sure that you're still socializing on, how we are right now on Zoom.
It's good to still
What do
get
you think?
face-to-face socialization. I think that's
Exactly.
really good. Exercise, managing your stress level is also really important for
Yeah.
the immune system, as well as the supplements. So there's a few good spots to start off there. But
Yep.
that'll do us for our 10 minutes. Well, almost 11 minutes today, 10-minute fitness.
Jesus.
But thanks for listening, guys, and we'll be back next week.
Definitely. We'll definitely be back with more listeners' questions.
And send them in. We're more than happy to answer a couple.
All right. Sounds good, Darcy.